Welcome to the 19th annual Solstice in Times Square Mind Over Madness Yoga. Be sure to visit our sponsor tents in the Yoga Village on Broadway between 47th and 48th Streets right after the class for a showcase and sampling from our partners. This class is being streamed on Facebook Live and Twitter at Times Square NYC. So text your friends to watch and check our feed later today as well. And now, please give a warm welcome to Times Square Alliance President Tom Harris, along with event co-founder Douglas Stewart.
Thanks very much, Joe, and thanks to all the entire staff and production team at Times Square who made this happen. Welcome to Times Square. Thank you for celebrating the summer solstice with us today. The solstice is filled with symbolism, and so is Times Square. Times Square reflects the city to the world. Images of an empty Times Square were symbolic of the pandemic and the pause, and you being here today is symbolic of our resolve and recovery. As we gather today to celebrate the changes in the season, we also celebrate moving closer to the end of the pandemic. Change represents an opportunity for us to fall forward, restart, reconnect, reimagine, and reimagine our future. And perhaps the most important thing, it's an opportunity for stop wishing for things and to start doing things again. Please enjoy the yoga class and your visit to Times Square today, and come back often to enjoy all that we have to offer. And now it's my pleasure to introduce the co-founder of this event, Douglas Stewart.
Thank you so much, Tom. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. It is such a great joy for me to see your faces. Thank you, Times Square Alliance. Thank you to the sponsors that have contributed to this event. I really appreciate you. You know, this event is 19 years old. I feel like I have a child going off to college. Tim Tompkins and I started this event 19 years ago with just three people. During that time, 2003, there was a lot of rain going on, and the weather forecasters on that day were saying, if you don't have to go outside, don't. But of course, we wanted people to come to the Times Square to practice yoga with us. We felt that at the time it was necessary for people to just come into the middle of the square, do a nice sun salutation, share a few stories about yoga, and then return to the office refreshed and renewed. New York Times happened to be there that day. They took a few pictures. We were in the rain doing tree pose, and then that's how the event has bloomed and blossomed into your being here today, celebrating yoga in Times Square, right under the sun, summer solstice, the day when the sun is in the sky the longest period of time. I appreciate you. I'm glad that you're here sharing your inspiration, giving and offering your inspiration to one another. Thank you so much. Enjoy yourself, everybody.
And now, we are proud to have with us a lead yoga, mindfulness, and health educator and teacher trainer with 14 plus years of experience in instructing yoga and mindfulness to people of all ages. She is the author of the Little Yogi Deck, simple practices to help kids move through big emotions on and off the mat. Please welcome your instructor for today's class, Crystal McCreary.
Oh. Woo, okay. What a vision. I feel like saying, come join me for this fireside chat, but that is not going to happen. Good people. First of all, welcome. Thank you for being here. I want to welcome folks at home who are streaming. I also want to invite folks at the other stages who are sharing practice with Kendra, Josie, and Jamel, my other demonstrators. I want to welcome all of you and invite you in to this, what I hope will feel cozy in your bodies, even though we are a little more disparately, connected from one another. As I started to come up here, I got really emotional, just because I just feel like this is such a miracle, right? What a vision. What a vision. Even socially distant, this is a vision, right? The idea of us coming together, right, gathering to practice, right, a technology that supports us to literally connect with ourselves, right, to harness, in the spirit of the solstice, right, to harness all of our disparate elements, right, the parts of ourselves that are, especially in the last 18 months, been quite fragmented. We come together today, right, to renew ourselves and to invite in new ideas, new directions, new perspectives that are so desperately needed at this time. So this is a miracle to me, right? And I just want to acknowledge that. If you have not taken a moment to really look around to see who's here and committed to doing that, do that now, right? To see who's in your community. Yeah. And so what we will do today, what we will endeavor to do, as we always do, is, move, breathe, meditate, and we'll do all of that in effort of creating the conditions within ourselves so that we can not only give lip service to the idea of connection and integration and wholeness, but to actually embody it, to literally put it in our bodies so that we think, we speak, and we act. We create legislation, right? We are about compassion. We are about the generosity. We are about union, right? And this is no easy task. I aim to make this challenging, right? It's hard on purpose, but it's hard on purpose, hopefully in the safety of this community, so that we can be reminded when we need it most out here in the world, right? How to show up, even for the people who aren't thinking about being here and doing this work. And this is important work, right? This is the kind of work I like to call social justice, right? We are creating the opportunity within ourselves to change and shift and care for the things that we need. So to take care of, so that we can be about that care in the world, all right? So I'm gonna invite you to come up and sit on your shins. And if this is not comfortable, we won't stay static for very long, okay? So if you have a block, like I always bring a block, and I'm such a yogi, I bring my block and my blanket everywhere. But if you don't have one, or a blanket and your knees are sensitive, please roll up your mat, right? To just give yourself a little padding, right? And then take your hands to your thighs. Yeah. And close your eyes. The invitation is to close your eyes. And take these first few moments just to become aware of the sounds, right? The music of the city. Allow yourself to connect with the environment and what's happening around us. And now see if you can pull your ears in as if they were on a string. And pull your listening in a little further. And maybe listen for the sounds that are a little bit closer, right, in proximal relationship to where you're located. Maybe just the sounds in this square. And now pull your listening in even further if you can, and listen for sounds that are happening in your own body, in your mind. Right? Sometimes those sounds are the loudest of all. And we've already begun this practice of connection, unity, using our attention to toggle between all the elements that make up our experience right now. Good, and bring your hands to your heart. And with your hands on your heart, just allow the movement of your breath to come into your inner view. Right? Feel the movement and the space within your body as it is now, in the heart area. And now bring your hands to your belly, and maybe your side ribs. And once again, just feel into the sensation of breath and anything else that is within your frame of, right, sensual awareness. And then bring your hands behind you to your low back at the kidney region and see if you can sense an expansion in space as you breathe in, and that dilation as you breathe out. Good, and now bring one hand to the heart and one hand to the belly. And this is what we aim to do, is to connect with the space within us, to become aware of what is happening within us, to take care of whatever needs to be taken care of, to nurture, to undo whatever needs attention, so that we can create the conditions within ourselves to be who we are. All right, and I like to say that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. Take a big breath in and allow the breath to fill with whatever it is that you are holding as an intention for showing up in the world, and a way of showing up in the world. And as you exhale, just gently sigh that out. Send it out. Good, and then gently open your eyes. Come forward to hands and knees. Spread your fingers wide. Make sure the wrists are under the shoulders. Take the knees directly under the hips. And as you inhale, lift the heart, lift the tail, let your belly sag, coming into that cow shape. Good, and then as you exhale, scoop the tail under, and then take the hips back towards the heels. Sink your hips into child's pose. Let your head release to the ground. On your next inhale, come forward. Find that cow shape again. And then as you exhale, scoop the tail under into cats. And then keep the tail scooping under, keep the broadness in the upper back, and then reach your chest forward. Reach your chest forward. That's it. And then from here, just lift the left leg behind you. Okay. Yeah. I guess I can mirror you. Yeah, lift your left leg behind you. And then keep pressing into the hands and spread the space between your shoulder blades. Lower the leg a little bit, and then kick a little bit more through the heel. Squeeze your thigh to straighten through the leg, and then slowly start to re-lift the leg, but lift as if there's a string pulling on the inseam of your leg, right? So those toes rotate down. Good, and then reach the right arm forward. Beautiful. Take a big breath in, and a big breath out, and pull the belly in. Reach through those fingers, strengthening through the core in this bird dog shape. As you exhale, release the left hand down, drop the knee. Inhale to your cats. As you exhale, curl the toes, lift the hips up and back for your first downward dog. In this first down dog, bend the knees a lot, and you might just check in with your hamstrings. You might be better supported by having your feet a little bit wider. Maybe not, right? But play with that, right? We're creating space in the body, so create the shape that allows you to feel most spacious. And then press the hands down, lift the hip creases a little higher. Keeping those knees bent, let your head drop. Maybe shake the head yes and no. On your next inhale, lower the knees. Inhale to cow. Find that back bend, open the heart. As you exhale, scoop the tail, sink the hips back into your child's pose. On the inhale, lift forward into cat. I'm sorry, not cat, cow. Good. And then as you exhale, curl your toes under and then listen carefully. Bring your knees close together and then walk your hands back. Yep. And this is not going to be necessarily comfortable. But we get to meet ourselves. We get to be intimate and connect with this part of ourselves, right? So just to know, you can lean forward a little bit to take some of the discomfort away, or lean back, right, to increase whatever sensation is arising. Interlace your fingers like this, press the palms forward. On your inhale, stretch the arms up. Good, take a big breath in here and press the palms up. Like there's a brick on the top of the palms. You don't want the brick to come crashing on your head, right? And then sink the hips down towards the heels. Good, breathe in and out. And even though this is uncomfortable, perhaps, right, consider the resources that yoga offers to help you navigate this discomfort and stay connected to yourself, even though it may be uncomfortable. Good, release the arms. Inhale, come forward. Cow pose. Good, exhale, curl the toes under, downward facing dog. This time in down dog, straighten through the knees, squeeze your thighs and lift the hips as high as they'll go as you descend the heels down towards the floor. Imagine you could press your feet into the ground so much that you move the thigh bones wider to the left and right of the hip sockets. And feel how that creates space in the side seam of the legs. Drop the head, take another big breath in. And out. On your inhale, come down to that cow shape again. Inhale, lift the heart. Good, now this time as you exhale, sink the hips back into your child's pose, but walk your hands over to the right. Yeah, and then use the left hand like a little lever, and then reach your right hand like a little lever, and then reach your left fingertips a little longer so you get into the side body, right, the side ribs, maybe your QL. Breathe and create spaciousness in the left side. Good, and then inhale, come forward, walk your hands over to the left, ground to the left hand and reach the right fingertips a little bit longer. Good, and then breathe deep, breathe deep. Good, on your inhale, come forward, cow. As you exhale this time, bring the hips back to the heels for just a moment and then reach the arms up without interlacing the fingers. Good, and then lift your hips up a little bit like you're reaching the arms so much their hips float a little bit off the heels, and then drop your hips to the left. Good, and then release the right hand down. Find a side bend and then deepen that stretch you just found in the side. Good, and then reach like you mean it. Good, and take a moment. I want you to scoop the tail like you're doing cats. And then reach the left fingertips a little bit more. Breathe in and out. Good, inhale, come up. Same thing, second side. Reach your arms, lift the hips up, because the updraft of the arms is so strong. Then drop the hips to the right. Take your left hand down. Yeah, and you're just deepening the stretch to the side. We're literally opening the body, creating space, so we can be who we are. Good, inhale, come up. Reach both arms up, come forward to tabletop. Curl the toes under, lift the hips up and back, downward dog again, and do whatever variation you'd like here. Maybe you're just hanging out in regular old dog. Maybe the knees stay bent, maybe your feet go wide. Take 2 big breaths. Good, and then on your exhale, start to walk your hands back towards your feet. And when you get back towards the feet, look at your feet, make sure all 10 toes point forward, and make sure the feet are hip width apart. Bend your knees a lot, interlace your fingers, but this time take them behind you, take the hands up towards the sky, keeping the right knee bent, straighten through the left knee, take the hands over towards the left side. Up and overhead. Good, then switch sides, bend the right knee, take the hands up and over to the right. And then gently soften both knees, release the arms down, and then listen carefully, you're gonna come halfway up, but instead of taking your hands to the shins or the floor, reach your arms back like you are flying. Yeah, and then feel all that space we found in all four sides of the waist. Reach through the fingers, reach through the crown of the head, pull your belly in. Maybe the knees need to stay soft so you can be nice and long. That's okay too. Good, and then from here, deepen the fold. Soften the knees, spike through the heels, and roll up one vertebrae at a time, coming all the way up to stand. And just take a moment, look around you. As you look around you, feel into you and what you just created as well. Right? How can you be connected fully, mindfully to all of the elements? Good. And then walk forward. Walk forward towards the top of the mat. I'm going to come to the top of this mat now. And then standing with your feet hip width apart. Actually, maybe I'll stay here. We're going to do a little half sun salute modification with some side bending, okay? To keep that spacious theme. So make sure, again, that your feet are hip width apart, all 10 toes pointing forward. On your inhale, stretch the arms up and look up, bring the palms to touch. As you exhale, take your right hand to the right thigh, stretch up and over to the right. Good, inhale, reach both arms up. As you exhale, stretch up and over to the left. Inhale, reach up. As you exhale, open the arms and fold all the way over the legs. Soften the knees if you need to. And then inhale, come halfway up, reach your arms straight back. Find that, take flight, right, with all that spaciousness. And then exhale, release and fold. Inhale, roll up through the spine. Come all the way back up to stand. Same thing one more time, starting with the other side. Inhale, stretch up, look up. As you exhale, stretch up and over to the left. Inhale, reach up. Stretch up and over to the right. Inhale, reach up. As you exhale, fold. Take all that length forward. Let your head dangle, soften the knees. Then inhale, reach the arms back, take flight, look forward. Exhale, release and fold. Spike through the heels, drop the tail, roll up through the spine. And then inhale, reach the arms up, zip your legs together this time, and then bend the knees, sink the hips down. Find Utkatasana, fierce pose. And true to the name, right, the translation of the Sanskrit, it's fierce, right? So we're gonna hang out here for long enough for it to feel a little fierce, okay? And in that fierceness, can you stay connected to yourself? Right, in that perhaps unpleasantness even, can you stay connected to yourself? Right, can you soften the gaze? Right, can you use gentle words? Right, in your own mind towards yourself. Good, on your exhale, fold forward over the legs. As you inhale, come halfway up, take flight. Lengthen through all four sides of the waist. As you exhale, take the fingertips down, step the left foot back, find a long, low lunge. Yes, good, and make sure all 10 toes point forward and the feet are in their own lane. From here, take the right thumb, I'll turn this way, take the right thumb to the right hip crease and draw back on the right hip crease to keep that space in the right side body. Good, plant the left palm. Inhale, stretch the right arm up, and then open, not just to the sky, but maybe find a little back bend, right? Stay rooted in the feet, firm the outer hips in, Open the chest, create space in the heart, and exhale, release the right hand down. Step to downward dog. On your inhale, come forward to plank pose. You can modify this plank by lowering through the knees. We're gonna hold here for 3. Right, yoga is hard. It's hard on purpose, y'all. Okay, so take a full breath in, pull the belly in, reach the tail towards the heels, and reach through the crown of the head. Take one more breath. Good, and then from here, slowly lower the knees or lower through a full push-up. Come all the way down. Whew. Sweet release. Yes. Point your toes. And then from here, lift the legs up, again from the inseam, and then reach your arms back. Float the arms up, the shoulders up. Imagine there's a little blueberry you want to squeeze between your shoulder blades. Good. And then keep lengthening through the crown of the head. I'm trying to look at you, but keep your head forward. And then release your hands. Take your hands to the side ribs. Release the legs. Press into the hands, and then lift up into maybe a slightly higher cobra. Okay, so if your low back is tender, stay low, okay? Everybody, scoop the tail and anchor the hips down. Roll the heads back, the shoulders back, look up. As you exhale, press back, downward dog. In this down dog, bend the knees and reach the hip creases a little higher. Find more spaciousness in the body. Drop your head, shake your head yes and no. On your inhale, look forward. Start to walk the feet to the top of the mat. Inhale, come halfway up, take flight. As you exhale, release and fold. Spike through the knees, spike through the heels, bend the knees, and roll your way up. Reach through the arms, and exhale, release, coming back to mountain. Okay, same thing, second side. Inhale, stretch up, look up. As you exhale, fold over the legs. On your inhale, come halfway up, finding that flight. And then exhale, bend the knees, fingertips to the ground. This time, step the right foot back. Find that low lunge. Reach the chest forward. Good, and then ground through the right hand or fingertips as you draw back with the left thumb and the left hip crease, right? And then firm the outer hips to the midline. Reach the back heel, take the left hand high, and then as much as you can, see if you can not just find length in all 4 sides of the waist, but open the heart, open the heart. Good, as you exhale, release the hand down, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower right away through your version of a push-up. On the inhale, lift the legs, the arms, and make sure the palms rotate down so that we're opening across the chest. Now keep the lift in the chest as you place the hands by the ribs, lower the feet, anchor your hips down, and then maybe you come into a high cobra. Maybe you press down into the feet and lift the thighs for up dog. That's a big, big back bend, so be gentle. Exhale, downward dog. Breathe in and out. Take 2 more breaths here. On your next inhale, look forward. Start to walk the feet to the top of the mats. Inhale, come halfway up, find that flight. And then exhale, bend the knees, sink the hips, come back into that fierce pose. Good, and then bring both palms to touch at the hearts. Take the left elbow outside the right knee. If your feet aren't together, you might want to make that adjustment now. Okay, and if your elbow doesn't go outside the knee, that's okay. You can take the left hand to the ground, take the right thumb to the right hip crease, and just open to a twist that way, okay? Take a big breath in here, and a big breath out. And then inhale, come to center, Utkatasana. And exhale right to the other side. So notice if you're feeling pretty fierce, feeling the fierceness of this twist. See if you can stay with it for just a couple more breaths. Think of lengthening all 4 sides of the waist, spinning the heart up to the sky. Create space for who you are to show up. And then exhale, fold over the legs. Take an inhale, fly y'all. Exhale, bend the knees, hands down. Step your left foot back to a long, low lunge. Okay, and then lift the back heel. Make sure the back knee is up for this. Squeeze the back thigh, accelerate through the back heel, and then from that drive back, can you reach and create more space in the spine moving forward? Good, and then slowly lower the back knee down. Okay, so this might be a time to pad the knee. We won't be here for very long, okay? But please pad the knee if your knee is sensitive, okay? And then from here, walk your hands up to the thigh, okay? Pull the hips back, but know that that puts more pressure on the knee, right? So if you need to, if it's tight in the left front hip, you can pull your hips back. But the idea is to descend the hips as much as you can. Good, and then inhale, stretch the left arm up. Let the right arm dangle for a moment and really create space in the left side. Bend the left elbow, take the right hand to the left elbow, and see if you can find a side bend. Ooh, it's a tricky balance. Good. And just notice what it feels like to wobble, to be unsteady. We know what that feels like in the last 18 months, right? What resources do you have to stay here and navigate this skillfully? Good. Inhale, take both arms up. Find space in all 4 sides of the waist. Exhale, hands down. Step back, downward dog. On your inhale, come forward. It's a plank pose, your version. On your exhale, lower through your version of a push-up. On your inhale, float the legs and the arms up. By the way, this is Shalabhasana, locust, in case you were wondering. And then transform the locust into a cobra. Press the feet down, anchor the hips down. Maybe come a little higher. Maybe you come into up dog. Good, as you exhale, press back, downward dog. 3 big breaths in. And out. Breathing in for 2. And out. Breathing in for 1. And out. On your next inhale, look forward. Just walk the feet to the top of the mat. Bring your big toes to touch. Inhale, take flight. As you exhale, bend the knees, sink the hips, come back to that fierce pose. Good. Right away, exhale, hands down. Step the right foot back this time. Lower the right knee down. We're coming into that low lunge. Actually, keep it up because I had you do something else first, right? So accelerate through the heel, squeeze the back thigh, right? And then use that directive to the energy to direct the spine in the opposite way, right? Find all 4 sides of the waist getting longer, and then slowly lower the back knee. Yeah, maybe pad it, and then bring your hands up to the top of the left leg. Scoop the tail under. On your inhale, reach the right arm up. Get long, 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 and then bend the right elbow. Take the left hand to the right elbow and find that side bend. Maybe it's really small. Right, remember, we're creating space, definitely not creating harm. Right, but see if you can be as present as possible with all that's happening. Inhale, stretch both arms up, reach up, look up. As you exhale, release the hands. Step back, downward dog. Now you can stay in down dog, definitely from this moment forward if you haven't already. And just breathe here for about 5 breaths. If you would like to roll through that vinyasa we've been doing, feel free to do that. I'm definitely one for skipping vinyasas. It helps me feel like I'm creating more space. Okay. Yeah, whatever variation works for you. You can even take a child's pose. And now on your next inhale, look forward. As you exhale, I want you to step the right foot forward between the hands. Now that might not happen easily. So you can take your right hand to the right heel and help the foot forward. And then what we're looking for here is a vertical line between the right shin and the ground. Pivot the back heel down. Yep, and then reach the left arm forward, cartwheel all the way up to Warrior Two. Yeah, and then settle into Warrior Two, but lift the arms a little higher than normal today. Drop the tail and feel that with the arms a little higher, more spaciousness is available in all four sides of the body. Press down into the feet, lift up through the crown of the head. And as things get a little more interesting in the front thigh, feel the feet connecting to the earth and ground yourself in the experience. Good. Flip the front palm, reverse the warrior, tilt back, and then slowly straighten through the right leg. Press down into both feet, and then find really a reverse triangle is what we're doing here. And then slowly lift up out of your triangle. You might narrow your stance a little bit, right? The distance between the feet to feel more steady. And then reach the right arm. Rotate the palm upwards in a gesture of reception, right? And then slowly get long as you can until you can't get any longer. Then put your hand on the shin. Good. Take the top arm up. Press down into both feet and then use all four sides of the waist to get long. And maybe after that you find that length, you might spin your heart up a little more to the sky. Rotate the top arm and reach the arm and fingertips up and overhead and create more space in the left side ribs. You might even fan the ribs up a little higher to the sky and get like a little arch in the spine. Side bend in the spine. Good. From here, inhale, come all the way back. Find Warrior Two. Settle into Warrior Two. And then take your right hand to the inside of the right foot. Fingertips can go there, fist can go there, maybe the whole palm goes there, whatever's available. And then resist the arm against the inner knee and use that lever to get longer in all four sides of the waist. Rotate the top arm again, reach it up and over. Reach to the fingertips, get long. And steady yourself by using your breath, by connecting to the music of Times Square, and knowing that you are harnessing all the power, right, within yourself, and it's magnified by doing it in community with all of these beautiful people. Good. Release your hands down, frame the front foot, step back carefully to downward dog. And then from here, slowly lower the knees down. I'm going to turn directions. Find yourself in tabletop. And then lengthen the left leg behind you, pivot onto the left foot. Good. And then steady yourself. First, just take the left hand to the hip for a side plank variation. Pull the belly in. And then remember all four sides of the waist. Can you create that space again? And then take the top arm up, rotate the arm, reach the fingertips forward towards me. Or if you're on another street, you're reaching them towards the stage. Good. Take a big breath in here. As you exhale, release your left hand down and press back, downward dog. Your choice, you can hang out in downward dog, take a child's pose, or flow through that vinyasa. Take 2 to 3 more breaths. Getting some feedback here. Might need to reposition myself. Okay. Good. Take 1 more breath wherever you are. Inhale, look forward. As you exhale, walk the feet to the top of the mat. Inhale, come halfway up and take flight. As you exhale, bend the knees, sink the hips, fierce pose, Utkatasana. Good, as you exhale, come right forward again. And then this time step the right foot back. We're setting up for those, standing poses. Okay. Drop your back knee first. Actually, no, sorry, keep your back knee high. Good, and then from here, pivot the sole, the right foot down, reach the right arm forward, and then cartwheel your way up. Find your warrior two. Sink through the hips. Settle into the feet. Rebound up through the crown of the head, and then find that extra height in the hands. And then breathe into all four sides of the body. Whew. And enjoy that fresh Times Square breeze. Breathe deep. Flip the front palm, reverse the warrior, tilt back, and peel open your left side body. Good, take another breath or two. And then slowly start to straighten through that front leg, reaching those left fingertips back, finding the reverse triangle here. And then firm through the feet, really ground through the feet. Inhale, come up. Open the palm to the sky, maybe shorten the stance. Reach the left hand forward as far as you can. Good, and then release your hand to the shin. Take the top arm up. Get long in all four sides of the waist. Spin the heart up to the sky. And reach like you mean it to the top hand. And then rotate the arm and reach the fingertips so that the arm is now parallel to the ground and you're getting that nice deep side bend, creating more space in the body. Take a big breath in and out. And slowly press into the feet as you inhale, come all the way back up, warrior two. Settle into the shape. And then release the left hand to the inside of the foot. Or maybe it's the fist that's connected to the ground. Maybe it's your fingertips. Resist the arm against the inner knee, the knee back against the arm, and use that to get longer in all four sides of the waist. Rotate the top arm, reach those fingertips forward, and breathe. If what's happening in the body is overwhelming, maybe you toggle your attention outward into the environment to steady you. Good. As you exhale, release the hands, frame the front foot, carefully step from that lunge back to downward dog. Inhale to plank, lower your knees, and then this time we're going to do our side plank variation on the left side. So straighten the right leg, pivot the right foot down, press into the left hand, take the right hand to the hip, and then roll the top shoulder back, pull the belly in, and then get long here on all four sides of the waist, and then take the top arm up. Good, rotate the arm forward, reach those fingertips. Breathe deep. Good, as you exhale, release the hand down. Step back, downward facing dog. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. Look forward between your hands and then walk the feet to the top of the mat. Inhale, take flight, get long, open the chest. As you exhale, fold. Inhale, bend your knees, sink the hips, find fierce pose, Utkatasana. And then exhale, fold all the way back forward. This time, step the left foot back and find a long, low lunge. So the back knee is high. Make sure your feet are not on a tight rope, but that they're in their own lane. And then soften the back knee, and we're gonna come up to high crescent, but take the hands to the thigh for a moment. Bend the back knee, scoop the tail, and then reach both arms up. With the knee bent, it's a little easier to find length from the tail all the way up through the fingers. Keep all of that, okay? And then bend the left arm, take the right hand to the left elbow, and find that side bend we found earlier. Again, but in the high lunge. Good. Take a big breath in and breathe. Woo! Into, that was a big breath. It almost knocked me over. Good. Breathe into the left side body. Good. Take another breath. And then inhale, stretch both arms up. As you exhale, take your hands down and really feel into the earth. Okay? And notice what's coming up. And see what it takes to steady yourself. Feel the feet rooting, find your breath, and then slowly come back up again, but this time take the arms back as if you're taking flight again. Open the chest, woo, and then we're gonna walk the back foot carefully forward and see if we can lift off and really take flight. So kick through the back heel and find that string, lift it, use it to lift the inner leg. Squeeze the aerial thigh to straighten through the knee, and then squeeze those shoulder blades towards each other. Take a big breath in, and then slowly, see if you can alight the toes back. Oh my goodness. And then hands down. You survived, just like we survived this pandemic so far, right? Step back, downward dog. Your choice, vinyasa or not. Take 2 more breaths wherever you are. On your inhale, look forward. As you exhale, walk the feet to the top of the mats. Inhale, come halfway up, take flight again. And then feel with both legs on the ground, right? You know where you are. Right? Feel the squeezing of the shoulder blades, the lengthening through the crown. Bend the knees, sink the hips. Fierce pose. Good. Exhale, hands down. Step back with the right foot this time. And then press into the feet. Make sure the feet are, again, in their own lane. Soften the back knee, and then come up to crescent, hands on the thigh to start. Soften the knee, scoop the tail, reach through the arms, and then really reach like you mean it. Create space. And then bend the right elbow. Take the left hand to the elbow. Find that side bend. Maybe take a big breath, but not so big that you fall over like I did. Press into the feet to keep you steady, and then peel open the whole right side. Good. Inhale, take both arms up, and then release the hands. As you exhale, pause. Find a steady gaze, and feel all that you're feeling. Press into the feet and slowly come up, but just halfway. Reach your arms back behind you as if you're taking flight. And then literally walk the back foot forward. Slowly lift off and let the inseam of the right leg lift you into, this is warrior 3. If you're really feeling this today, you might stretch the arms straight forward. It creates more load on the belly though. Take 1 more breath wherever you are, and then slowly soften the standing leg, step back carefully. Yeah, good, downward dog. Inhale, come forward to plank, and then lower the knees. Good, and then from here, I'm gonna scoot this way. From here, we're gonna do our side plank again. So stretch the left leg back, sole the foot down, press the right hand down, and just find your side plank. Some of you might come into the full expression of the plank. And everybody, I want you to open that top arm and create a back bend, right? So think of lifting the heart towards the sky. Some of you might release the left foot behind you and make it a wild thing and really press down into the right hand to lift the chest to the sky. Take 1 more breath wherever you are. Exhale, release the left hand down, lift the hips up, down dog, slowly lower the knees, and then rest. Take a rest in child's pose. Good. And feel into all that you're feeling, right? And just notice if you have a tendency to avoid certain feelings. certain sensations, if there's resistance towards those. And see if you can cultivate space for those feelings too. Right? All of your experience. Yeah, and maybe say a prayer for whoever, or if you pray, send an intention out into the world for whoever's needing a medical emergency right now. Be grateful that you are healthy and strong. Good. Inhale, come forward to tabletop. And then stretch the right leg back, pivot the sole, the right foot down, and then find your side plank. Good. Maybe if you stack the feet on the first side, do that here too. But everybody press down into the bottom hand, and this time open the heart to the sky. So you really have to pull the belly in to keep you steady. Open the heart to the sky. If you took Wild Thing on the other side, put your right foot behind you, press into the left hand, and open the chest towards this glorious sky. Take one more breath wherever you are, and then exhale. Release the right hand down. Lift your hips high. Take a big breath in and out. Lower the knees. And then come on up. And I want you to actually just, most of you, let's see. Actually, why don't we have everybody turn and face Broadway, okay? Turn and face Broadway. Yep. Actually, don't turn and face Broadway. Sorry, if you're with me, you turn and face, go west, look west. Thank you, Jacqueline. Look west, because I think most of you will be able to see me a little bit better. Okay, I'm gonna stay facing forward. That way everyone can see. Okay, and so stand on your knees. I know some of you are like, I hate this woman in the knees. Pad your knees, okay? Pad your knees if you need to. All right, and then step the left foot out to the left. Yeah. Take your left hand to the inside of the left foot. Take the right arm up and reach the right arm and lean your body over. So this is a variation of Parigasana or gate pose. Scoop the tail under. Good, and just breathe into that side of the body. Now some of you might stay right here. This might be plenty. Others of you might straighten the left leg. You can ground to the heel and kick the left toes up, or pivot on the foot so the toes will point towards the west side of the city. Okay, wherever you are, breathe. Good. Now from here, come on up. Take your hands forward. Yes, and then lift the left leg up. And swing it back behind you and take the left knee all the way behind the right knee. That's it. Make sure that your knees are stacked, right knee in front of the left, and then open the feet nice and wide so you can sit back between your feet. Now, some of you might be like, yeah, that's not happening, okay? So if that's happening for you, cross the right shin in front of the left. It's the exact same outer hip stretch, it's just a little gentler. And if sitting cross-legged is not great, do a figure 4 with the right shin up, right? And the right foot flexed. These are all the exact same, they target the same muscles, okay? All right, so with the knees on top, take your right fingertips out to the right, and then reach the left arm up and over. Find a big, juicy side bend again. Woo, yes. Breathe deep. Good, and then slowly inhale, come all the way up. Good, and listen carefully. You're gonna unwind the top knee and just reach it out to the right. So if you're in the cross-legged position, you're gonna reach the right leg out. So we're in an asymmetrical shape. Take your left foot close to the pubic bone without causing any harm to the knee, right? So this should feel comfortable. Good, and then from here, turn your body toward the chest, then heart towards the left knee. And then start to lean, so the chest is turning to the left knee, but the chest is leaning to the right. And you're coming into another side bend. Lift the left arm up, bend that left elbow, take the hand behind the skull, and reach the elbow towards those right toes. Any amount. Big breath in and big breath out. Good. Take another breath or two here. Good. Slowly inhale, come up. Come up slowly. Good. And then just pause for a moment. Just feel the effects of that shape on the body. All right, notice the space you've created. Good. And then come forward. It's almost like a mini tabletop. Bring your knees back to that padding if you padded them. I'm going to stand on the knees for the second side, okay? So take the right foot out to the right. You're basically making a 90-degree angle with the leg. Take the right hand to the inside of the right knee, scoop your tail, and lift the left arm up high to the sky. Good, and then start to side bend into Parigasana gate pose variation. Take a big breath in. If you started to lengthen the leg on the first side, this is a good time to do that. Wherever you are, scoop the tail and reach those left fingertips a little more. On your inhale, slowly come up. Good, take your hands forward. And then lift the right leg, take it all the way behind you, and take the right knee behind the left knee, stack the knees, open the feet wide, or cross left shin in front of right this time. Okay, if you had a cross-legged position, you can also do a thread the needle. And then from here, take the left fingertips out to the left, take the right arm up and over to the left. Breathe in and out. Good. Slowly come all the way up. Good. And then unwind the left knee. Take the leg long out, the left foot out to the left. Pull your right heel in towards your pubic bone. It might be already in enough. Again, you don't want to feel any pressure on the knees. And then turn your heart towards the right knee. And then lean your body over to the left. Take the right arm up, bend the elbow, take your hand behind the skull, and reach the right elbows up and over towards the left toes. Breathe in and out. Take one or two more breaths. On your inhale, slowly come up. Good. Pause. And just feel what you've created, right? The conditions you've created within yourself so that you can be with yourself, right? Take your hands behind you. Stretch both legs straight forward. Flex the feet, and then pull your knees in towards your chest. Open the legs, and then lean forward, Upavishtakonasana. Good, and then lean back. Pull the knees in towards your chest. Good, and then Paschimottanasana, lean forward. Good. Bring the knees back into the chest. Open the heels wide, Upavishtakonasana, or wide-legged forward bend. Good, inhale, come up. One more time like that. Inhale. Good. And then heels forward, Paschimottanasana. Reach the arms up. And then use all that length we just found and take it forward. Any amount into Paschimottanasana. Breathe deep. Take two more breaths. As you inhale, slowly come up. And find a comfortable seat. Any seat that's comfortable. Yeah. Let your hands come to rest on your legs. or knees. Close the eyes. And this time, start with focusing inward and really become aware. Right? Use your inner eye to become intimately aware of who you are. We've created the conditions. So how are you going to show up? What new direction are you going to move into? And maybe it's the same as your old direction with some new modifications. And you might keep your eyes closed as you slowly transition onto your backs for a 2-minute Savasana or relaxation pose. You might also just stay right here and enjoy the effects of practice. Soften the skin on your face. And let your breath come back to its natural rhythm. And take rest. Slowly start to make some small movements as if you're waking yourself back up. And draw your knees into your chest. Roll to the right side. Take your time. See if you can keep your eyes closed as you transition back to a seated position. And bring the palms to touch at the heart. Bow your head gently as a gesture of gratitude. And a gesture that honors this thousands-year-old practice and the teachers who gifted its wisdom to you. And those teachers, their teachers, and those teachers' teachers. Take a moment to be grateful for a practice that helps us not just feel good or change our state, but a practice that offers the resources and the technology to actually embody who we say we want to be. It has been abundantly clear that being and doing and demonstrating love, compassion, generosity, patience, these are These are hard things to do. They're easy to talk about. And yoga helps us actually create the conditions to show up and be patience, be love, be compassion. And that is something powerful to be grateful for. On your inhale, lift the chin. Thank you, everyone. Namaste, ashe, and blessed rising to this summer solstice, or setting, I should say, to the summer solstice sun. Thank you, everyone. Yeah. Thank you, Kendra and Josie and Jamel and everybody at home. You can find me on Instagram, C. McCreary Yoga. If you have littles that you love at home, you can check out the Little Yogi deck and do a lot of what we did with them as well. Have a beautiful summer solstice. Thank you.
Please stop by the Yoga Village on Broadway between 47th and 48th Streets before you leave today. Sweat looks good on you. Offline by Aerie is activewear made for you in real life. Check them out in the Aerie Soho store on Spring Street. From workout to workday, refresh with Smart Water Alkaline with a higher pH balance. Smart Water Alkaline, they've added a little more so you can go a little further. Stop by the Smart Water tent in the Yoga Village to receive a complimentary bottle. We would like to thank the Consulate General of India, New York, for their support to the event. Solstice in Times Square coincides with the International Day of Yoga, an idea which was suggested by India. The United Nations General Assembly proclaimed June 21st as the International Day of Yoga for promotion and celebration of yoga across the world. Don't forget to visit the Consulate tent at the Yoga Village, which features a large number of products. And spread the good karma by making a donation to Community First, a new initiative where navigators on the street build relationships and trust with vulnerable and people in Times Square with the goal of getting them help. You can donate right now by going to tsq.org and make a difference in the world today through yoga. Join the conversation by using hashtag SolsticeTSQ and tag at Times Square NYC. The Times Square Alliance hopes to see everyone next year for the 20th celebration of Solstice in Times Square, Mind Over Madness Yoga.
Hi, Crystal.
Hi,
I
Douglas.
just saw your class and it was amazing and wonderful.
Douglas, thank you.
Yeah,
You're
just
amazing.
really, I love how you connect with the students and make it real for them. And I especially love the part of the class where you said be peace. It's not just lip service. Let this practice make the conditions for
Yes.
this reality
Yes.
because it's not topical.
That's right.
And how did you come to organizing the class in that way? It seems like it's
Yeah.
organic rather
Yeah.
than inward outward rather than outward inward.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Yeah, no, not at all. That is literally my goal. I think I came to that because, look at the world we're living in. I'm struck every day, like stunned every day, at how hard we as human beings, we have such a hard time. Just like everyone wants to be peaceful. Everybody wants to be a little more compassionate. Everybody wishes they could do better and be better. And I think every day I am stunned by how when we are met with choices, how often we don't necessarily choose skillfully. And in order to make skillful choices, we literally have to create a space for the pause, a space that's long enough to consider, like by looking at the big picture and consider consequences, consider the experience of others, consider the experience you're having. That requires space. And that's the theme of this class was we're creating space. And it's a physical space in the case of asana, right? But it's also a sort of metaphysical or maybe a less tangible space in terms of like the way our brains and minds and hearts pick up on what we need to feel into to be and our best selves. And if we don't go slow enough, if we're not intentional, and if we're not honoring the actual dimensional reality, because we're not just heads. We're not talking heads over here, right?
Yeah.
We got bodies connected to this too.
Yeah.
So the space has to be created in the mind. The space has to be created in the heart. It has to be created in the body. And I've had such a hard time understanding, right? Why, despite our best efforts, we struggle. And so this practice was really about connecting those dots in the way that I found this practice helps me connect those dots.
That was very apparent. Do you think that the pandemic contributed to your search for space, stillness?
Yes. Yeah. The beginning of the pandemic, I hate to put it like this because I know that so many people suffered. I actually had COVID at the beginning of the pandemic, and I was very fortunate to come around to the other side and really just have really bad flu. I lost sense of smell and taste for about 2 months, but it all came back. And I'm certain that a lot of it has to do with having a regular, very dedicated wellness practice, right? My body I had created the conditions to literally like battle this disease, right?
Yeah.
But I will say that after that, everything was quiet in this city, except for the sounds of the sirens.
Yeah.
And literally, it took something as awful as a pandemic to create and force space upon us, right? To confront us with space. And so absolutely, I thought, I need more space in my life.
Yeah.
Like, I need more time. I need more quiet. I need more pauses. I need less things on my to-do list inside of a day. So I literally created the space in response to the pandemic directly.
I love how you equated that with rather than doing, just be, and I love how you wove into the practice, your class, all of the clear instructions, the structure that you provide in order to make space, Paragasana, Trikonasana, those poses that open up the side body. I mean, that was a challenging class, but you
intentional.
that definitely recorded. And how you intelligently wove in the structure, the musculature necessary in order to get into that space, because you were creating, you were developing, you were making the conditions for space. And It was wonderful to see. Yeah,
thank you, Douglas.
wonderful. And the pause at the very end for your meditation to allow your class, the practitioners in your class, to just enjoy and luxuriate in the space that you help them to find. Just a beautiful class.
Thank you, Douglas. That
Yeah.
means so much coming from you, because I've taken your class and you create a lot of space. So that means so much.
Speaking of that, I love how you said, anybody got a block and a blanket? And you pulled one out of thin air.
Yeah.
And I was looking around and seeing just how many people had blocks and blankets.
I was like, oh, nobody brought any this year.
You said, look at me, I must be a yogi. I always carry my block and blanket. And I just had a vision of you in, McDonald's or
Yes.
wherever,
Listen,
with your
honey, listen.
block and blanket.
I don't play, especially when I travel. You know, all
Yeah.
the airports have yoga rooms now. And
Yes,
I'm like,
right.
I always bring it. It's just such a
Yeah.
habit. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
we appreciate you and your gifts, your talent, and inspiration today. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Crystal.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
me.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
All
Yeah.
right. Namaste.
Namaste.